Hello, beautiful Geminis. My name is Darcy. This is Star Card Tarot. Welcome if it's your first time. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave me a comment. Especially if this resonates for you, I would love you to come along for the journey of life that we're on. So this reading is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Also, it's if you have Gemini in any other aspect of your chart, feel free to watch. I kind of feel like if the reading resonates, it's for you, and don't get too caught up in what sign it is. But of course, it is common saying in the tarot world that to have focus on your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. But that's up to anyone, I actually have been finding watching my midheaven, which is in Taurus, has been really helpful for me. So it's really up to your own discretion. All my readings are entertainment purpose only. There's some links in the description where you can follow me on Facebook to see about private readings, and Instagram, and then donations are welcome on my PayPal link. Alright, so this is for Gemini for the month of July 2020. We're going to start with my Angel Crystals Oracle deck by Doreen Virtue. I've been told this is a pretty rare deck. She doesn't make these anymore, so that's pretty cool. It's my first deck ever. I got it like 3 years ago. Alright. Just going to call in the guardians and say my little spiel. Guardians of the four corners, Mother in the earth, Father in the sky, angels, ancestors, sacred ones, I call on you and welcome you here now. I set the intention that whatever is gained from the lessons learned from these tools will be dedicated to the growth of all beings in all places. So it is. Alright. Okay. Ooh, I just got into your energy now. It's interesting, I wasn't feeling any difference at first until I guess saying that really does help. That's why I say it every time. Alright, what is the crystal angel for Gemini of July 2020? Did you guys see that fly out? Oh wow, Taurus had this card, not for their underlining, but it was the card that fell out for them. Moonstone. Heightened intuition. Be extra aware of your inner knowings, as it's trustworthy. Interesting that you got Moonstone, Gemini. We are in, I'm recording this in June, so it's still your birthday month. And I'm curious to wonder if there's any full moons or new moons in Gemini, or where the planet placements are right now. Could be significant. There might be one coming up, I think, in your sign, if not had already passed. But yeah, your intuition is going to be really spot on, Gemini, for the month of July. If you have a moonstone, I have one right here. It looks like this. Oops, sorry. It looks like this. Mine has a little black dot on it on that side. And in the light, it looks like it has like a rainbow effect when you put it in the sunlight. If you have a moonstone, I would highly suggest that you use it. You can also just charge a clear quartz to any stone you want for that month. But yeah, for the month of July, Moonstone and Moldavite will be really helpful for for your spiritual progress. Yeah, and Gemini, I'm feeling that like in July that you're going to be having a really big awareness. Like something's gonna happen, I feel. I'm not gonna speak, I don't wanna, you know, already talk about the tarot cards before they come out kind of thing, but I feel like something's gonna happen in July. And this card is really telling you to listen to your gut, to your instinct, be extra aware of your inner knowings, and to trust it, you know. How your inner knowing, like how your instinct or your gut is feeling is absolutely right in July. So that is definitely a great confirmation to keep with you. And the overall message, the underlining card here is Moldavite. Taurus had this too. So it could actually have something to do with a Taurus, maybe? Or someone that has Taurus in their placement, or their birth chart, natal chart. So this is, Moldavite here is unconventionality. Your unique qualities are an important part of your life purpose. It's okay to feel and be different from others. So Moldavite is a green stone that actually comes from meteorites. So this card is all about being, you know, different, but in the most beautiful way. Having the kind of past where you felt like you never really fit in much, like you might, you know, I'm not saying you didn't have any friends, of course, you probably did, but like you always kind of had this inner knowing or this inner feeling that like you were somewhat outer worldly or had this like unique ability that no one else has, or maybe no one else really could understand if you ever like shared it with someone. You definitely feared being like looked at or teased about it if you were to talk about these inner feelings or ideas or inventions of yours. So that could be something too. You could actually be coming up with an invention in July. And maybe this heightened intuition is saying to just trust your gut about whatever this unconventional situation, idea, mission, purpose. I'm even hearing like lifestyle, or maybe I'm also hearing relationship for some of you, not all of you. And that's of course not, if anyone ever says anything about that to you, like clearly they're mistaken. Like any relationship, I feel is you know, love is love is love. But some people don't see that, you know, so you might be dealing with something like that. And of course, listen to your intuition and know it's right, you know, if that is what your situation may be in July. Ugh, that's so upsetting. It makes me so sad. Like, it makes me like sick to my stomach when I even think about that people can be like that, you know? Okay, but let's see what the tarot says. This is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus for the month of July 2020. What is Gemini's overall energy for the month of July 2020? Ooh, Gemini. I just like almost felt like I couldn't swallow for a second. Something pretty big's gonna happen for you guys. It might be really shocking. It doesn't mean it's bad. The Tower card doesn't always mean it's a bad thing, I promise. It's good. It's for the better. It always is. Alright, so that's your overall energy. What is the challenge for Gemini in July 2020? And what is the advice for Gemini 2020? What is the blessing for Gemini 2020? I mean, Gemini 2020. For Gemini in July of 2020. What is the blessing? Any surprises or blessings? Okay. And the possible outcome. That's a good outcome, my friends. You got the Magician at the end. But there may be some turbulence. Alright. Excuse me, my throat is really having a hard time here. Alright, can I get the clarifier for the Tower, please? For Gemini. Clarify for the Tower. Gemini, July 2020. Clarifying the Tower. Thank you. Clarifier for the Five of Wands in reverse. Clarifier for the Devil in reverse. Clarifier for the Two of Wands in reverse. Notice how I say clarifier and they give me like 2 to 3 cards. Not just one. Well, that's good though. I like more detail the better. I'm trying to actually make my videos not so long. I noticed that the last 2 were 50 minutes each. Alright, and a clarifier for the Magician. Actually, I'm just going to use... Yeah, I think I'm just going to use the underline. Trying to listen if that's okay with them. Alright, we're going to work with it. It's feeling right. Alright. I'm still trying to see if they want me to do that or not. I don't normally do that, that's why I'm like, Alright, okay. What is the clarifier for the Magician? No, yeah, they did want that. Alright. Sorry. Oh, there it is. What should be the... Oh, okay. Alright. Okay. Actually, that does make sense, because you've got the heightened intuition card. So yeah, we're good. Okay, all set. Sorry, Gemini. Okay, so we have for your overall energy for July, we have the Tower clarified by the Knight of Wands. So, the Tower, everyone seems to be afraid of the Tower, but it's not a bad thing. So the Tower, as you can see in the card, sorry, my camera's like super high up just because of the angle I had to put it at. So if you can tell at the bottom, it's built on like a mountaintop of ice. And it's this big tower. So clearly its foundation and what it was built upon is like crap. So this tower had no chance in the first place. But they tried to build it, you know, to reach the heavens. They thought that, you know, they were doing the right thing by building this tower so high up, even though it was like all icy and freezing and the foundation was horrible. They thought that was the best way to reach their goal, right? To reach for the sky, in a sense. So a divine intervention crashes this tower down. That's what the lightning bolt is in the crown here. Right? Knocks the crown off of their delusion, in a sense. And it is divinely guided, though. And it basically, the tower, you know, burns down and it collapsed. And but it's because it's built on such a crappy foundation, you know what I mean? And it is shocking. But it can be a good shock in a sense. Especially being clarified by the Knight of Wands. It's a very interesting clarifier for the Tower. The Knight of Wands, he's you know, he's all about passion, fast movement, but he like has fun. He's not as fast as the Knight of Swords, but he's the second fastest knight in the deck. You know, he's you know, and wands represent fire signs. Getting the message that like maybe a fire sign brought about this tower situation for you, Gemini. But it's not in a bad way though, you know what I mean? That's what I keep hearing. And especially by seeing the other cards that are coming after. It's actually for the better. It might have, because notice how the horse is kind of like its hooves are kind of like doing like the 1-2, you know what I mean? Like almost like, you know, have you ever seen a kangaroo and they're like, you know, bop bop, you know what I mean? It's kind of doing like one of those, or like a horse even, like it does this thing. And sometimes it can like kind of bop someone on the head, and a horse would obviously hurt a lot more than a kangaroo would. But that's kind of what I'm feeling, like this fire sign might have just kind of like, you know, metaphorically speaking, trotted along into your atmosphere, your world. Maybe you've known them, maybe not. And they kind of gave you like their horse gave you like a bop on the head and was like, hey, like your foundation is like crap, let's get rid of this, you know? That's what I'm hearing, that's the message I'm getting. It's an interesting message, I don't know if it resonates or not. You know, because also the Knight of Wands has a lot to do with unconventionality. The Knight of Wands, he's like an entrepreneur. He's, you know, he's a step above the Page of Wands, and the Page of Wands is very like suave and like stylish and stuff, and like the Knight of Wands is like a step above. He's more matured. You know, he's actually has done some traveling. He has gone into a few battles of his own, you know, he has more experience. That's what the feathers mean. The more feathers on the knight, the more wisdom they have. And he has quite a few, not just on his cap, but on his armor sleeve too. Yeah, because next you have the Five of Wands in reverse. So that's better than the Five of Wands upright, really, because the Five of Wands upright is about like chaos and fighting. Like everyone has a wand and they all want to be on top. Five of Wands, this would be upright. Like they're all battling each other and they all want to like win this chaotic, passionate fury, right? But it's in the reverse. So this tower moment, and this is your challenge. So in the reverse, it does mean that like things are getting better, but like you have to be really careful to not be manipulative with your actions or with your words. Like victory is good, but not to be like braggadocious about it too. Things like that. Yeah, because I feel like this fire sign that like tore down your false tower there, because the Five of Wands up in reverse is also clarified by the Two of Cups, which is like the union card. It's usually in a holistic health. It can be a job offer in like holistic medicines or in the medicine field. It's also, you know, the couple of union of new love. They both have a cup and they're offering it to each other, and it's blessed here by this lion angel symbol up top, which again, more fire, more. Well, that's Leo energy, but more like fiery passion kind of feel, you know, because it is the cups, but it has the lion symbol, so that's, you know, it's like fire and water, right? It's like the two elements, the two opposite elements coming together with this like Kundalini snake energy right here. It's actually I think it's like the historic symbol for medicine, but it is two snakes, which also in yoga represents, you know, the Kundalini energy. Interesting. And then you also have the Knight of Swords in reversed. The Knight upright, he has a message and he's like hell-bent to get that message across. The Knight of Swords in reverse, I want to say that I just heard the word misleading for some reason. I don't know if that's... It might not be for everyone, you know? But it does kind of tie into this trusting your intuition, right? The rest of the cards look pretty good. Definitely the outcome looks really nice. I'm actually going to look in the book just to be sure. I've actually been starting to think that I might not do reversal cards anymore because I don't know them as well as I would like to. Alright, so actually let's just make sure that the Five of Wands in reverse. Yeah, so the Five of Wands was what I said, manipulating, pushy, negotiating, connecting. Yeah, work smarter, not harder. There are smart ways to manipulate without being forceful or mean-spirited. Use your creative powers of persuasion to negotiate progress. So that's what the Five of Wands meant. So it was the message I was getting, you know. Yeah, so this card is really like a manifestation. This person, whoever this Nine of Wands is, kind of manifested this tower moment for you. I hate to tell you. Also, I'm kind of getting the message that if this isn't, this could also maybe be you. It's either you or someone else. Gemini. Gemini, you might have had this blast of intuition or inspiration, right, with the moon and Moldavite. And it was kind of like a sudden shock to you. It was almost like a tower moment. Like, because it doesn't mean that something came crumbling down per se. It definitely could. It could also just mean something was like shocking, like a lightning bolt, you know, like a inspiration moment, right? And it made you really passionate and fired up. It could be someone that you're interested in. It could be a fire sign. Not sure. We also have Capricorn. We have more fire sign. Oh, we have a Libra here. Could be anyone, really. Could be another air sign. Specifically, we have Aries, Leo, Sag, Libra, Capricorn, and that's pretty much it. I don't think Judgment doesn't have a sign with it, I don't think. But Judgment is the card of 20, so if you've seen 2 a lot, 2, 1, 2, other numbers, yeah, we have quite a few 2s. We have 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 6s, no, just kidding. I thought we had 2 6s, hold on. No, we have 6 9, that's what that is. Interesting. We do have 2 6s actually if you break 15 down. Anyway, sorry, I get lost in the numbers sometimes. I actually have 3 2s here in Gemini. Anyway, alright. Back to your reading. Oh, I get so distracted, I'm sorry. I have Gemini in my Venus, so, and Mercury, I think. So, that's where that comes from. So yeah, I think that it like kind of got you fired up, and I really think it might have been a possible either the love interest or a business deal. Like it could have been a job offer, because that's also what 2 of Cups stands for. You kind of like wanted to charge ahead, but you couldn't, because it's some kind of intuition, like strike of inspiration, kind of got you like stuck in your tracks. So you might have tried to like work too hard instead of work smarter, not harder. You might have been trying to impress this person, boss, whoever it is, with this 5 of Wands in reverse. You know, that's what that card really means, is that you're trying to be too impressive because you really want this 2 of Cups with this person. And then the Knight of Swords is talking about how like distractions and chaos have you at full tilt. You have a deep desire to cut through the noise of life but can't seem to achieve clarity. Yeah, so like it's gotten you really messed up in your head right now. Sources you normally count on are unavailable and unstable. You want to make progress, but every time you move ahead it feels like you take several steps backwards. Yeah. So something's got you at a standstill. That's what your challenge is probably to have some patience and to try to be more smart and not so aggressive and like, you know, be Gemini, you know, use your intuition and use your mind. You know, that's what air signs do. That's what they do best. Is they think about it. They calculate, you know. And that's what your advice is, Gemini. You have the Devil in reverse, so that's talking about like breaking addiction. It's talking about breaking the bonds that are holding you stuck, trapped, captive. And saying that the way to do that is to get into this 4 of Swords mode. This 4 and 3 of Swords. If you're seeing 43 a lot, that's what this is about too. You know, by reflecting and meditation and collaborating with a few people, you'll definitely get some clarity again. You know, the Devil upright represents all things toxic. You know, if you're, you know, drinking too much, maybe you know, doing anything that is clogging your brain, you know, clogging your clarity basically. If your sleep's not good, really check into those areas, because that can be the cause of it, you know, especially with this Four of Swords. I feel like it might be a sleep issue for you guys. Make sure you're getting proper rest and just eating well as best you can. That will really help you with your clarity and not like feeling like you have to you know, do so much, you know what I mean? It'll give you the time to pause and just really reflect on the situation. And it is a blessing, you know, having the devil in reverse. Let's try to find them. See if there's any other insight. Yeah, because you're going to gain some humility and realization. And this Three and Fours, or this Three of Pentacles, collaborating with others, working as asking for help, basically, is what Three of Pentacles is. They're asking this guy for help to build something. So the main message of that card is to ask for help. And the Four of Swords is to get rest and clarity, you know, to meditate, to gain insight, because yeah, you're definitely getting some relief and some improvement in your vulnerability, which is really actually going to be so beneficial for you. Yeah, and you're realizing that being vulnerable and having humility doesn't mean you're weak. I think that's going to be probably one of the biggest realizations that you have in the month of July. And if you've already realized it, it's going to be like firm, like, it's going to be a foundation. Does that make sense? Like, that's going to be your new foundation. Is the devil in reverse. Like, that's pretty awesome. Really, like, if you think about it. Yeah. You're going to realize that what's vital are keys are for health and having a balanced life. Like, health and a balanced life. You're going to realize that's the key to not having to deal with any of like this anymore, you know, having a balanced broken chain of the devil card, okay? Like, you are literally, that's powerful, Gemini. That's powerful. To not have the devil have any, the devil card, not the actual devil, I'm sorry. Let me clarify that. To not feel bonded by any like chains of chaos in your life anymore, and realizing that just health and balance and rest and being vulnerable and having humility are the key of life. You're going to be unstoppable, like, once you see that. And that makes a lot of sense why judgment in reverse is your overall message. You know? Because I think that's what you're really releasing. You're really releasing that, or you're really coming to see that somewhere along your life you got this idea that you weren't worthy. And so you rejected the call to reach your highest potential. You know, and extreme sensitivity and being in the spotlight, shyness, or embarrassment were holding you back. Confining yourself in the shadows is not the answer, right? And that is what this card upright is. It's like being trapped in that shadow because of that's the toxic energy that you're in. You know, this manipulative, freaking crazy ass energy right here. That was your challenge, you know? To get out of that. And it looks like in July you're definitely making strides towards that. You know, you might still think here and there that that unworthiness pattern of your mind might come back, but you know what that is now. Like it doesn't get you anymore like it used to. It doesn't tie you back down anymore. You're like, oh, I see you. You know, Mr. Devil Mr. Devil card up, right? Get back upside down because we ain't playing that game. You know what I mean? That's awesome. Alright, so then you have, for your blessings, you have the Two of Wands in the reverse. Alright. Yeah, that's exactly what I just said. So your Two of Wands in reverse is talking about knowing that you still have room to grow. You know, you do know that your future is really bright, but you gotta watch out for not like being too cocky about it. Don't you know, don't go telling the whole world, as the saying goes, which is kind of ironic because he is holding a globe in his hand. You know what I mean? Just, you know, keep your stuff to yourself for the most part. You know, I know that had to do with one of these cards. I want to say Moldavite. Yeah, I think Moldavite, unconventionality. You know, you might also realize that what you've gone through in your past is going to be beneficial for your future in a certain type of way. So try to keep that to, you know, those cards kind of close to your chest in July. You know, you don't have to tell everyone about that because that can, you know, it can basically inflate someone's ego. You know, I can inflate your ego, basically. I'm trying to say it nicely, but, you know, and stay humble. Like, this is the card about staying humble and knowing that you still can learn. There's still so much more room for improvement. Yeah. And if you can develop more subtle forms of communicating who you are, you'll see quick advancements. And that you can do to anyone. You know, you can talk about that to anyone in the world. It's subtle, you know, not so much of this, and definitely not this, you know, and definitely not the manipulative crap. You know, not too intensely. You know, just, you know, humbly. From where you came from, Gemini, you know, from the looks of this reading, that shouldn't be hard for you to understand, to like understand where you came from and transform that into a humility. You know what I mean? Like a humbleness of yourself. Staying grateful for the little things, right? Yeah. That's good. Oh, okay, I see what's going on here. So that's and then that's also clarified by the Three of Cups. So you might have some celebrations ahead, which is good, right? But be careful. You know what I mean? Stay cautious that you just have broken free of the befogment of the Devil card, right? Your mind at this point in your blessing section is clear. You know, you've already done the Four of Swords and the asking for help, so you don't want to overindulge too much. Then you have the Justice card and the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So I just want to like it with the Four of Pentacles and Eight of Pentacles. They keep saying four. That's weird. Because Four of Pentacles is about control. Oh wow. And this one is about being obsessed, eccentric, reclusive, lost. Oh, okay. Alright, so okay. So you might get some judgment here. But So this Three of Cups can actually mean a couple things. It could mean a celebration and just to be careful in the overindulgence. And it can also mean that you feel like you have gained such justice for yourself with this new work that you're doing, that you're going to be starting in July. What it's saying is that you might get so involved with your work that people start to think that you're, you know, kind of losing touch with reality. So I think what the Justice card is saying is to have a healthy balance. It's like reminding you, your blessing is your blessing actually might either be that you're going to be given this balance without much effort, or the blessing is that, you know, to remind you of this balance. Or maybe a Libra will come in and help you balance it out. Also, you could be getting some good news in the legal department, or it could be like a job offer, right? Because this Eight of Pentacles is about working, but it's in the reverse, which means working too much. Alright, so just with Libra, with the balancing and the scales, you know, it's just really important to keep balance between work and play is really what I'm seeing here. And then your outcome with the Magician and the Queen of Wands, I mean, I must feel like this is kind of it's either a power couple or it's your masculine and feminine higher selves coming into into union here. It's literally like, it's like the Moonstone and the Moldavite card coming together, and that's really weird because I saw that in the beginning. I think I said something about a relationship aspect of those two cards, because the Moldavite is a man and the Moonstone's a woman on the cards per se, and it can be, you know, I'm just saying what it is on the card. You know, it can also be seen as just, it's always just seen as the energies, you know, so it could be, you know, two men, just one has more feminine energies than the other, or two women, you know, same thing. But it's like these cards are literally reflecting the Magician and the Queen of Wands. Like even their hair color. So the Queen of Wands is master of intuition. She is also the master of wish fulfillment. She has a little black cat, which I love, and she is a sign, I believe, of Aries and Leo. She represents both, and yeah, like it's crazy because like the hair color of the Queen of Wands and the Moonstone card are literally the same hair color. See? And so the Moldavite card and the Magician look a lot alike too. It's literally two guys with long, darker hair. You see that? That's so crazy. Dude, I can't with you guys. So under the Moldavite was this card, balancing the masculine and feminine energies. That's so crazy. Allow your feminine side to creatively inspire you and your masculine side to give you confidence. I think that just like wrapped up the entire reading, Gemini. We're all done. No. Yeah, I really do feel like you're really coming into balance with yourself. You've learned a lot, or you're going to learn quite a bit maybe in the beginning of July. And you're going to really come into this like humble and vulnerable side to yourself, and it's really going to allow both sides of you. And you are a Gemini, right? So it's the twins. I think it's going to kind of allow your masculine and feminine side of yourself to really just intertwine with each other, you know, in a really beautiful way. You're going to be bound to the chaos in your mind, or you know, with just the chaos within, which is what the Devil card really represented, right? Interesting. Wow, that's really cool, Gemini. It's like, it's really deep. Let's see what the ancestors have to say. Your ancestors, what do you have for Gemini for July 2020? Clearly. Take charge with authority. And you have the warrior and the Lord. Wow, like you are stepping into your superpower here this month in July. Be fearless and stand strong. Take charge with authority. So Gemini, you know, I do feel like there's going to be some challenges for you in July. I feel like more towards the beginning half. But you're really going to come out like amazingly. You're really going to shine your light in the darkness. That's what this warrior is about. All around him is darkness. Like he's in the, you know, he's in pitch black. But it's because he's standing there strong and he's fearless because he knows he's the light. He is the light. He has no fear of the dark. And I feel like that's where you're gonna be. You know, you're gonna be like, listen, I walked in the devil's shoes, and what? I'm good, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just, you know, but just keep that kind of, you know, to yourself in a sense. You don't want to come off. One of the cards was warning about coming off too egotistical or too cocky. And I'm like the biggest cheerleader for like people taking their power back, so I'm probably not helping in that situation. But just yeah, just know it within. You know, like this warrior. Like this warrior, he doesn't talk much. You know what I mean? He knows he's badass. He knows he's fierce. Interesting too, his earring almost looks like the color of the Moldavite stone. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. And so the Lord is take charge with authority. The Lord is actually the same as the Emperor in the tarot. So again, more Aries energy. There's a lot of Aries cards in your reading, like the Magician and the Queen of Wands are both Aries cards. You know, I don't know if you have Aries in your chart, Gemini. If you do, I would definitely suggest to check out the Aries reading I just uploaded. So that would definitely have some more insight for you, I'm sure. Because I feel like this one was very cryptic. It was simple, but it was like powerful at the same time. Yeah, shut up with this masculine and feminine coming together. Did you see what's underneath the Lord is the lady, which is the Empress. That is crazy, Gemini. Wow. Gemini, you're either meeting your counterpart or you're coming into totality of who you are. You know, being that you're Gemini, you are the twins, and you've had literally mirror reflected cards quite a bit here. You're the two crystal angel cards, the Lord and then the lady being underneath him. You know, those are counterparts, divine counterparts, the Queen of Wands and the Magician. Beautiful reading, Aries. I just said Aries. I just called you Aries. See, like there's something going on there. I don't know if you have an Aries in your life. I don't know what's up, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's in your chart. I really wouldn't. And I'm gonna let you go there because I think someone's drilling a hole through their wall next door. So thank you so much. And as always, like, subscribe, and keep shining your star. Till next time.